I am a former overconsumer, overspender, borderline hoarder. But rejoice, I saw the error of my ways, I turned it around, and now I consider myself to be a very intentional consumer. I'm not a minimalist, and that's not my goal. Like, good for you if that's your vibe. I see those people in the documentaries and they just like have a mattress on the floor. If that's what makes you happy, girl, live your life. Could not be me. My goal is not about having as little as possible. It's just about filling my life with things that I truly value and enjoy, rather than whatever a bunch of people sitting around a table at a marketing meeting have decided that they want to make me buy. And if you can relate to that, I think you're gonna like this video. Hey friends, it's me, Amy Rebecca, your internet bestie for all things personal development, intentional living, and dream chasing. Fun fact, I do believe I have become sassier since purchasing my new microphone. I don't know what's going on. I was just looking for improved audio quality, and I got this whole other pizzazz about myself recently. Anyway, today I'm going to be talking through 10 things that I no longer buy as someone who has really overhauled her spending and shopping habits, and that I don't miss. In a world where we are constantly, during every waking second of our lives, being sold to and promised that our lives will be better, fancier, shinier, more aesthetic if we just keep spending money and buying the stuff, I'm here to tell you from experience that there are probably a lot of things that you are buying right now that at best are not enhancing your life in any way, and at worst are just junk. So here are some of the things that I have cut out and no longer buy. Number one, I no longer buy candles. I used to have a thing about candles, and I don't think it would be too far off the deep end to estimate that at one point I probably owned over 40 candles. Maybe I would push it to maybe 60. I used to associate candles with self-care. So you light a cute little candle in the evening. It's aesthetic. It improves the mood. It's got vibes. Drinking a little green tea with my candle flickering in the background. Who is she? She's that girl. And look, scented candles are all very well and good. Like, if they bring you joy, great. The problem is I started to equate buying candles with self-care. I'd be like, this is a treat for myself. Buying my 49th candle. That's not a form of self-care, that's just a form of overconsumption. And over the last 6 years, I have slowly been using up that candle collection. I still have probably half a dozen left. And even when all of those are used up, I'm not going to return to buying candles as a little treat. And I'm also not going to fall back into the trap of doing what I used to do, which was like having a fresh candle for every season. I've realized that what truly to my core brings me joy is an autumnal candle. Ooh, that hits a spot in my soul. And a Christmas cookie candle. Those are the only two candles I need. During the summer, I don't need it. Spring, no. Any other time of the year. It doesn't bring me the same joy, so I don't need to buy those. On a similar kind of note, another thing I've stopped buying completely is homeware. When we take a step back and we think about it, the idea of going out and like shopping for homeware as like a day-to-day occurrence is bizarre. Once your home is furnished and it has all the stuff, why are we still buying stuff? And yes, there are going to be times when you need to redecorate, or maybe you realize like, oh, this room could really do with a plant, or maybe I need something to like store something in. That's fine. But this like mindless consumption of homeware, of like going to TK Maxx and buying a bunch of ornaments and storage solutions and different bits and pieces that you never knew existed and that really you have no space for in your life and your home constantly is strange. And I used to do it. There are only so many things you can put on display in your home. Let's not even get into the whole seasonal, cyclical, I must decorate for every occasion and holiday and every time the weather changes type scenario, because you guys already know how I feel about that. You don't need a specific chopping board for Valentine's Day. And those little purchases that seem like a bargain, they add up really quickly, not just in terms of financially, but also in terms of clutter. Number 3, and this is a big one, this is a defining pillar in my life, I no longer buy beauty backups. Oh, girl, let me tell you a tale. The old Amy had built herself a little cosmetics doomsday bunker of beauty supplies. I fell into the mindset that I needed to have options. I needed to have a variety of shades of blush. I needed to have 6 different eyeshadow palettes. I needed to have a plethora of lip products so that I could change it up day to day. And I always say this, we're all different. And for some people, if makeup is truly your passion, then having options could make sense for you. I do not have the creativity, nor the patience, nor the desire to like think of new makeup looks all the time. So why did I have so many? I no longer do it. My goal, if you've been following along on this channel for a while, you already know, is to just whittle it down to a collection of staples that I use and truly love. I don't need multiples of everything. My goal is to just have one or two key products in each category that are the things I use, and then put my blinkers on to not buy in when the influencers are screaming out of my phone at me to run, don't walk, and buy this next new lipstick that's going to change your life. The next thing I've stopped buying is clothes just because I like them, and for this reason I've pretty much eliminated going shopping for fun. I used to do that as a hobby, as a side note. That used to be a thing I would do most Saturdays, is just like wander around the shops, see if there's anything I want to buy, have a little browse. Like, I used to consider that a form of entertainment. I don't anymore. I find it mind-numbingly boring, which I think speaks to how much my mindset has shifted. But when you are going out and just shopping without a reason, just like window shopping for fun, a lot of times you will see things on the rack and think, oh my gosh, I love that, I'm gonna buy that. Do you need it? No. Does it necessarily fill a void in your wardrobe? No. Would you go out and look to buy that thing if you'd never seen it, if you never knew it existed? No. I had this happen the other day. I'd gone into River Island looking for a bikini, so I was specifically there for something. Oh, I saw this beautiful dress. I saw it and I was like, oh girl, I don't need you. I tried it on. This was an error. It was beautiful. I don't know if they just have magic mirrors in River Island, but I swear that dress took £10 off me. But I looked at myself in the mirror and I thought, okay, I know exactly the type of occasion that I would wear this dress to, and I already have so many other dresses that fit that specific requirement. I don't need this one, so I put it back. I think this just goes to show how far I've come and how much my mindset has changed. The fact that I was able to fall in love with that dress and put it back speaks volumes. And it's not about deprivation. It's not about saying you can never go out and buy new things. It's just about asking yourself, like, practically, do I need this? Would I get the wear out of this? Is this just gonna hang in my wardrobe and take up space unnecessarily? So now when I buy clothes, like I did with the bikini, I think, what do I need? And let me shop for that specifically as and when I need things, not just picking up whatever looks good. And similarly, I no longer buy things just because they're in the sale. How often have you stood in the queue? Especially, we're going back to TK Maxx. I am coming for TK Maxx because that is where I spent so much of my time and money in my previous life. You'd be stood there, you're waiting to pay, and then they put all the clearance items right next to the till, and you're like, I didn't even know that I needed a new phone case, but this one is so cheap. I have no use for a second hot water bottle, but this one is 50% off. It's not a good deal if you weren't planning to buy it. Even if it's 50% off, it is still 50% on. Another thing I've stopped buying is jewelry. You might notice that I wear this chain all the time. I didn't even buy this one. I inherited it. Pretty much all of the jewelry that you see me wearing, other than my rings, is inherited. I have a Pandora bracelet that I wear fairly often, and I have a few necklaces and earrings that I bought in my 20s, but I don't gravitate towards them so much anymore because I've learned that I am an autumn, and so I should gravitate more towards gold, which, lucky for me, I inherited a jewelry box full of gold jewelry, so I feel like I'm set for life. I would rather have a few key, nice signature pieces than buy a lot of like cheap costume jewelry. One of my goals for later in life is to get a really nice pair of like diamond earrings. I think that would be something that I would really value, and that, again, is something that's timeless, that I'm going to wear over and over again, that I can just pair with any outfit. But I'm not rolling in diamond money right now, so that's like a future Amy problem. But yeah, it's been years since I've bought jewelry, and I don't know, it's not something I'm particularly interested in anymore. The next thing I do not buy is ritual takeaways. Now, don't get me wrong, because if you know anything about me, you know I love a Domino's. I don't even know why, because if we are being completely honest with ourselves, it's not good pizza. But something about it is just strangely comforting to me. And I do, of course, treat myself to a takeaway every now and then. The other day, a new Thai place opened near my house, so I went and I tried that, and it was fabulous, by the way. But there was a time when ordering a takeaway was almost like a ritual part of my routine. Like, it's Friday, so therefore I'm going to order a pizza. That adds up really quickly. It's also not a very healthy choice. Weekly Domino's is probably not the best thing for your health. So I've cut that out. Now takeaways are more of a genuine treat and more of a spontaneous decision of like, do you know what? I really want to get a takeaway right now, which I feel like helps me to appreciate it that much more. And a lot of times if I feel like I want something nice, something a little bit out of the ordinary, or I can't be bothered to cook, I'll just go to Morrison's and I will pick up some kind of like ready-made pizza from there, because it's a lot cheaper to do that and you still get that sense of like novelty and like you're treating yourself, but for a fraction of the cost. The next thing I've stopped buying-ish is books. I say ish because it's not a hard and fast rule. I did in fact just buy 3 books from the charity shop, but it was 3 books for £1, so bargain. But on the whole, I am really working on, instead of going out and buying every book that I want to read, going and getting it from the library instead. Because number 1, that cuts down on costs. Number 2, it cuts down on clutter. And number 3, it is a cute little morning. Let me tell you, I go into town, maybe I pick up an iced coffee on the way, I go up to the library, I peruse the shelves, I feel like Belle. I feel like someone's going to come out in a chef hat and be like, bonjour! And I think actually, this is a tangent that no one asked for, but that actually really speaks to the power of moments, free moments, or at least low cost moments if you factor in the iced coffee. But actually going to the library is for free. The joy that I get from doing that costs me nothing. It's a nice little morning out, I feel like I'm romanticizing my life, and it's for free. I have not purchased anything. And you could see the joy, right, when I was talking about it. So often we fall into the trap of feeling like we need to buy stuff to get that dopamine hit, but we can get it for free in a plethora of ways, and that's just one really good example. Number 9, this isn't really so much something I no longer buy, as opposed to like a switch I've made. I downgraded my car last month from an Audi A4 to a Toyota Yaris. This is going to save me so much money in terms of car tax, in terms of fuel, in terms of repairs and maintenance. And I've realized that a car is just not something that I value enough to pour a lot of money into it. Now, something I always say is that we are all different, and something might be worth a lot more to you than it is to me. So for example, my ex-fiance is huge into cars. He spends so much money on doing them up, on buying them. I don't get it, but for him that was like a really good use of his money. It's not for me. I don't care. I just need to get to where I'm going. And I realized that in my 20s I bought this Audi and it was very fancy and I felt like I was, Real Housewives or whatever, but it wasn't worth the financial investment to me. I wasn't getting enough joy out of that purchase to justify the cost. So I downgraded, and now I'm saving that money so that I have it to invest into things that are more meaningful to me. And this, I think, is the key. It's not a race to the bottom. I do not believe it's about depriving yourself, owning the least amount of stuff, spending the least that you can. I mean, there's a time and a place for that. Like if you're hardcore saving, then yeah, cut out all your unnecessary expenses. But generally speaking, it's not about trying to be the stingiest person in the room. It's about finding ways to save on things that don't bring you that much joy or aren't that fulfilling to you, so that you can invest that money into other areas of your life that make sense for you, because we are all different. And the final thing that I no longer buy is subscriptions. For many years I had a deodorant subscription, I had the tretinoin subscription, that's why I ended up with like 11 tubes of it. I had a coffee subscription, a collagen subscription at one point. And again, I guess there's a time and a place. Like if there is something that you routinely use and use up to completion before the next subscription is coming in, that is a key, as I have learned. You need to be able to actually use the full thing in the time frame before the next delivery comes. But if you do that and it makes financial sense and there's a saving to subscribe, then go for it. But I think a lot of times we are kind of duped or convinced into signing up to subscribe for things because it seems like a good deal, and then a lot of those things end up in the back of a drawer or unused, or you think, I really got to cancel that subscription, and then you forget. This actually is a call to action for you to today, once you finish this video, go and check, what are you subscribed to? What subscriptions are you paying for? Now, obviously, I am not saying that you shouldn't buy any of the things that I no longer find that much value in, because again, we're all different. But this is, I think, a really great reminder that some of the things that we habitually purchase and think that actually bring us joy, sometimes don't. It's always good to take a step back and reflect and ask yourself, do I really need this? Do I really want this? Is it adding anything to my life? And if not, you can forego it or just cut down on it. One of the key takeaway things that I've noticed throughout this journey of becoming more intentional with my spending and my purchases, I feel more in control. I feel like I am the one who's making the decision for my finances and what I want to bring into my life, rather than just being on like a never-ending conveyor belt of trends. I would love to know in the comments what you've stopped buying and don't miss. If you haven't subscribed, now would be the time. We'll just all take a second while you scroll down. If you scroll, you'll see it right there. It's for free, kind of a big deal to me if you subscribe. Hurts my feelings if you don't. Please remember that you are enough just as you are. I love you so much, and I will see you all soon. Bye guys.